It should be get there we go. It should be getting ready to come up. Boom. There we go. All right. Hey, Miss Addie.
Hey, how are you this evening?
I am wonderful. I am wonderful. I am wonderful. Listen, thank God for today. It's been a beautiful one. I know it looks dreary and rainy, but I always love to be washed. I like to be washed. And the plants get something out of it too. My garden looks good. So, welcome everybody, man. This is the One Blood Movement of Unity Eye Opener Tuesday show. Keep that in mind. Eye Opener Tuesday show, where we talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is a subject, a topic that is so crucial to talk about in the public area. It's easy to talk about at the round table when it's just you and your family and your immediate family, your ones, your compadres, whoever you coincide with, whoever you talk to on a regular basis, whoever you deal with on a regular basis. Those conversations are kind of easy to have because it's really led one way. In other words, it's pretty much one dynamic opinion, and it just floats in that little area. But when you bring it to the forefront of outside the four walls, which is where one blood resides, and then you bring in the whole atmosphere, then you bring in the diversity, then you bring in the hatred, the love, the misunderstanding, and the respect and the disrespect. You bring it all in and you put it in a pot. And where does it all lead to? We're prayerfully, this platform has always been a platform to build people up, not to tear anyone down, not to demoralize anybody, not to tear anybody's opinion down, not to break anybody's spirit. The only thing we want to break is the hate off the soul of your soul. That's the only thing we want to break when we talk about breaking things. So being that this platform is for that, we're leading and hoping that you'll gain understanding of the topics. These are hard topics, y'all. That's why it's called the elephant in the room. These are really, really hard topics to talk about. I mean, they're not easy topics to talk about when it's coming from all different kind of angles. I mean, you have Miss Addie, introduce yourself. Let me introduce Miss Addie. Miss Addie, I call her Miss Addie Truth, y'all, before I really get into it, because it's a powerful one and I love it. And it's been very inspirational for me today. So Miss Addie Truth, bring yourself in, please, and tell us your social media, how we can find you, all the greatness of you.
I hesitate because I was just getting off so much on what you were talking about.
Oh, we get ready to get it in.
I'm just your sidekick, trying to do a little bit to make some clarity. But
Oh, praise
yes,
God.
I'm Addie Banks, and I am devoted to Black history and race relations. And tonight, I want to give you my social media
Yes.
new website called Let's Talk Race Now.com. I just launched that, and there's several elephants in those rooms.
There's some big ones.
Race relations and discussions that you need to have around the table and around the office.
Yeah.
And I have a YouTube channel by the same name. Let's Talk Race Now. And it's fresh, so there's not much on it, but it'll be hopping soon.
There's a lot of material. Two words will blow your mind. Race relations. That should blow your mind right there. Miss Addie, it's so much. It's always an honor to be with you and to have an opportunity to walk beside you in this journey right now that we're taking. God is really, I believe, has really blessed us to come together and in unison. We talk quite a bit, and family, I want you to know that we talk for a reason. When God puts something together, you have to communicate. You know, I say to my football players all the time, "What's the key to life?" They yell back communication. And the communication that we have, I know is heavenly sent because It's not that we're always in sync. It's just that you can feel his release of love and understanding in our conversations. So that's the beauty. I'm honored. I always thank you so much for joining the show with me. It's just I'm blessed. I'm
Thank you
truly
for
blessed.
having me.
Amen. 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 So family, look. Oh man, this was a hard one today because it was so much tension that was built around just this question. Like it reminded me of the question when I asked, was colorism worse than racism? The tension that was built around that one was deep, but this one seemed to go a little bit deeper and a little bit harder because of the personal feelings that came out. And the truth be told, that's the whole purpose, is to build conversation. It's to build a platform to where we can say, hey, you know what? In spite of the way you feel and in spite of the way you think, I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to listen to you because I understand myself so well and I love myself so much. I can sit down and I can sit down here and I can understand what you're saying. To me, it's a gift. To me, it's a gift from heaven. It's a gift from God that He says, I placed in you a gift to bring people together. I placed in you a gift of unity. I placed a gift in you of understanding. I can go both ways. And the reason why I know this, and I had to grow to this, I had to understand what God was trying to tell me and teach me all these years, because in high school, I went to a dominant white school all my life, grew up Johnson County. And growing up Johnson County, when you are the minority in Johnson County, it's different. It's very different. We've seen a whole lot. Now, I didn't witness what slaves witnessed. I didn't grow in that era. I grew up in the 90s, the 80s and the 90s. So I still remember seeing the KKK, welcome to KKK town in Smithfield when I was coming through. I remember the terminology boy being used quite often when it was when it was speaking to young black men. I remember so many bad gestures from teachers that you would see a white kid do the same thing a black kid did, but the white kid was barely a smack. Black kid was sent home or parents get called. Now, back in my time, we wasn't scared of the cops. We were scared mom and daddy found out. That was the fear. I didn't care nothing but no cop. That didn't bother me. You're just a human being to me. This an occupation. You carry a gun. I see my father carry guns. He raised me to carry guns. I've been a hunter and a fisherman all my life. I've always carried. I'm a concealed carrier, so I will continue to carry because that's just the way I was raised. That was my element. That's where my father brought me up. So when I seen a gun on a cop, it just didn't. That's not a phase for me. It's just, hey, that's an occupation for you. But if you call my daddy and tell him I did something, that's not an occupation. That's a hind part killing that I just didn't want to feel. And that's the way I was raised. That's the way I was raised. So growing up in Johnson County, man, these type of conversations I never heard coming up. We never talked about the elephant in the room. My father I think did a wonderful job explaining the difference between colors. The way he presented it was in a format of saying, recognize the color of skin because it is beautiful. And that's the way I see it. I see diversity as a beautiful thing. I see it as something different. So it's nothing wrong with being white. There's nothing wrong with being Hispanic, Black, Asia, wherever you're from, your ethnicity. To me, in my eyes, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do see the difference in the color, in the treatment of life. I do see the difference in the direction of life. I do see the difference in the response from different cultures to different ethnicities. I do see that. So my father raised me to recognize and not be ignorant of the fact of color, but don't cater to the hatred of it. So that's who I am. That's really how One Blood really was evolving all through the years. All through the years. I've seen so much hate, so much turmoil from the opposite race that it could have, I could have let it get me. I could have let it brought me down, but I didn't. So to God be the glory, because there were times where I did let it bring me down. We went the opposite way. We did totally bad things that I should never done, said some really horrible things I should never said. But I want to I just want to give you that so you'll know what this platform is for. And you can believe in it a little bit, hopefully you'll gain the love that we have to share. I mean, Adam has had that we have to share, and hopefully you'll gain the understanding that God gives us to give to you. Please be recognizable that it's not me, it's not Miss Addie. We're just the vessels that God used to build this platform. The elephant in the room, hard conversation. So the topic, the question was, Miss Addie, it was tough.
Yes,
It
it
was
was.
tough. It was tough. It was tough. But the question of the day was says, does being a black man mean automatic target for death? And Miss Ed, if it's okay, I want to read just a few comments that
Go ahead.
that really I was impressed. I was impressed. I said, wow. Uh, you know, it's I love conversation, man. I love conversation. I love people talking. I've always, I mean, if you guys have listened to the shows, we've always said I don't mind the negative. We don't mind negative as long as you keep it respectful. Um, Keep it in a good response. And we're not here to fight. We're here for understanding. We're not here to fight at all. This is not argumentative. This is conversation. Uh, Arguments is left for the ignorant. Conversation is left for the wise. So we're not here to be ignorant. We're not here to call anybody ignorant. We're here to really bless all of us. You know, the Bible says, "Now that get understanding." So please try to talk about the elephant in the room in an understanding way. I'm gonna go ahead and read. This was a beautiful one. All of them were beautiful, but this one here really got my attention. Teresa Pierce. She's a lovely person. Johnson County girl too. She's just beautiful in my eyes. She said, "Wow, what a question. Being black doesn't make you a target." Now this is her opinion. It's how she starts it off, which is fine. She said, "Being black doesn't make you a target. Following Jesus makes us a target." I like how she put us in there at that point. And then she went to quote John 10:10. Jesus don't see the color of skin, and neither dies the enemy. I guess she's meant neither does the enemy. It doesn't matter who the president is because enemy lives division among brothers and sisters in Christ. Ephesians 6:12. Some say Obama brought division, but some say Trump. Both are wrong. The enemy of our God brought it. I love that. It's only a distraction. I want you to keep in mind that word. It's only a distraction to add to his own doomed kingdom. Man, that's beautiful, Teresa. I mean, seriously, that's just but you know, she gave her opinion and she gave it something to back it up. She said, being black doesn't make you a target. Now Teresa's never been black. Now I'm not picking on her by no means, but Teresa's never been black. So I respect what she's saying. This is her opinion. She said, being black doesn't make you a target. I'm not gonna argue that with her. I'm not gonna argue that. That's her opinion. That's what she sees. That's what she knows. And then she went to back it up with scripture. I'm cool with that. I understand that. And I think it's great. Let me read another one. Let me see. This one says, I don't think, this is from Travis Tart. It says, I don't think so. Not an automatic target. It's how anyone cares themselves. Anyone can be a target if they act foolish in my eyes. Again, I love this part because he said in his eyes. This is only your opinion. Hey, it's not argumentative. It's your opinion. I'm not gonna mess with you on that one. Do you feel like, I'll answer this question for you later, Travis. Do you feel like you're a target? Meaning he's asking me the question, do I feel like I'm a target? You carry yourself with much class. Appreciate that. That's an honor. I would hope that people committing crime would be the target. That's your opinion, regardless of race, sex, culture, or anything else. I'm a human. Okay. Let's go to Matthew Darlington, which is one of my brothers, man. We didn't grow up together, but I mean, his son and my son are really, really extremely good friends, best friends. They played football together from a young age. I've coached Caleb. Caleb is one of the ones I call my white son. It's two of them I have. I have two white sons, and I always say this because these young men have been with me for the longest, and I've coached them from yay high, and I've loved them, and I still love them. Just beautiful kids. But here it is. This is Matt. Matt says, how on earth is this a good question? Is this a question going to unify? I will answer that. What purpose do such questions serve? I'll answer that too. This is supposed to be about movement of unity. It seems to me One Blood has been far more focused on the things that divide us for quite some time. On your Facebook cover, you have two boys hugging each other, talking about how hate is learned and not natural. That message is spot on if you're focused on unity. Okay, let me answer this if you don't mind. Miss Addie, you want to answer? You want me to?
No, I'm ready to hit yours.
Let me ask. This is good. This is good. I mean, because this is how you feel. It spunk something on the inside of you that in my opinion, I'm not gonna knock it. It's my buddy, it's my brother. I call him my brother, and I'm not gonna knock him. That's his opinion. That's what he feels on the inside. With that being on the inside, you gotta. To me, you have to almost be like, well, how long has that been sitting there? For how long? How long is that? Because it's coming at me as if I don't know what One Blood stands for, and I don't realize what movement of unity means. I don't understand what the word unity means. So that's the way it comes off from my understanding. If I had to read it really quick and I was moving on, I was a person that didn't know who I was, didn't understand who I was, that would say to me that automatically I don't know what unity means. I don't know what movement means. I don't know what One Blood stands for. Let me answer your questions. How on earth is this a question going to unify? The mere fact, and I answered this earlier, the mere fact that you are a white male, my cousin, which responded, I'll read that in a minute, and one of my classmates responded as well. They are Black. Matt is white. They have never met in my notification. They've never met. But they had a conversation of differences of opinion. Now, I did not invite Trump into this conversation. Let me make that clear. so whatever y'all want to do about Trump, man, leave him out of my conversations. I'm be real clear about that one, because this topic does not have anything. I did not intend to invite. I didn't invite him. Period, point blank. That is what they call. What we go to Teresa? What would Teresa say? Teresa said the word distraction. I merely asked a question to bring unity. So Matt, I want to answer that for you. This question is a building block. It's a foundational question for me to understand why you feel that way. And then hopefully you would understand why I feel this way as being a Black man. And the reason why I said it earlier, Teresa has never been Black. I mean, she made her statement and I'm cool with that. But until you have been in my shoes, because see, when I walk outside, Ms. Addie, you said this last show when we did the colorism and the racism, which one's the worst? And it was so profound because it fits this one as well. I'm not perceived the same way as when a white male walks outside. You don't see when Matt sees me, he sees a father of 4, married to 1 woman, a football coach, an owner of an organization that unifies people back to understanding we all are God's children, one human race, a guy who teaches kids and mentors kids, a guy who's a life coach, who helps people get to their dreams. That's what Matt sees, because why? Matt knows me. He took interest in me many, many years ago and he got to know me. That's who Matt sees when Fred Foreman Sr. walks out the door. But to the one who hates, and we said this last week, it's not all white people are bad at all. I cannot believe that. I will not ever believe that all white people are bad. But to the ones that hate me just by the color of my skin, when they see me walk out the door, they just see a Black man, period. Now, when they see a white person walk out the door, oh, he's one of my people. I can relate to him. Now, if you've never been Black, it's going to be hard to understand this. But if you would take some time really and just sit back and just take a minute to understand just a little bit of what I've been through and how I feel, or multiple Black men feel when we walk the streets of this earth, you might understand it just a little bit. Won't be a whole lot because you've never been Black. You can't see it. And then it's not that you can't see it all the time. I think we've come to a point in our life where we don't want to see it. Why? Because somehow we threw a distraction in there. Somehow Trump got thrown in this conversation we won't even talk about. I didn't invite him. This is like going to a party and some dudes show up that nobody likes. Well, we'll put like it's half this crowd likes him and half that crowd likes him, but I'm the host of the party. Well, I didn't invite him. So quite naturally, he's not welcome for this party. I might invite him to another party, and that half he'll go over there and hang with that half, and the other half will have their half. But I didn't invite him to this particular party, so this is a distraction. So we're not going to spend all night talking about Trump. I just want to let you know the distraction that was thrown in to throw you off of a conversation that you were having with another Black male and another Black female to gain understanding. It is the elephant in the room. That's how it brought unity. Even though we didn't get to a full understanding according to the responses. We didn't, I don't believe you guys got to an understanding that well, but it's okay. Hopefully at the end of the night, you will gain that understanding, gain that knowledge of that. For Travis, I will answer another question of yours a little bit later. Miss Ad, I want to come to you with that one and bring some truth of why this question even has to be asked in today's time.
It's an excellent question, but it's
Thank
one
you.
of those questions that we would rather only look at the flowers and not the dirt.
Oh, Jesus.
When you represent an organization for unity and kumbaya and love and friendship and everybody's hugging, that looks good and it feels good and it represents God's love. But we have to pull the covers back and look at the ugly,
Yes.
the hateful, the distractions, so that we can find redemption in truth and love. That's one of the problems with race relations, that everybody wants to jump over repairing a people to let's hug and let the past be the past. Why you got to keep talking about all that nasty stuff that makes me uncomfortable? Well, that nasty stuff is what we have to live with every day.
Indeed.
And that is the truth that you have forced people to discuss. And you know how, get an argument with a wife or a husband, we throw in something that, gets us a little off the subject, because we don't want to confront the true issues.
Indeed.
The truth of the matter is that every day, Black mothers and fathers have to raise their children, boys and girls, to survive another day. And at the end of the program, I hope you'll give me a little time to share a story. But the truth is, for generations through slavery, through Jim Crow, through yesterday afternoon, we have had to deal with, as you so eloquently expressed last week, the fear of our child not coming back home.
Mhm.
That's our reality. We did you want me to go into that history now or later?
Please do. Please do.
Okay.
Because I'll piggyback off of you.
Okay.
Mhm.
We right now in the news, the young man, Avery,
Aubrey.
Aubrey.
Ahmaud Aubrey.
hmm And oh, we just have so everybody has something to say. Well, we went through that with the young man in Ferguson, Michael Brown. We went through that with Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, and some of the others.
Whole lot you said.
hmm But I did some research today, and 2015 was a particularly troubling year. In 2015, police killed, this is just police killed at least 104 unarmed Black people, nearly twice each week. Nearly 1 in 3 Black people killed by police in 2015 were identified as unarmed. So the actual number is likely to be higher due to unreporting. 36% of the unarmed people killed by police were Black in 2015, despite Black people being only 13% of the US population. Unarmed Black people were killed at 5 times the rate of unarmed whites in 2015. Only 13 of the 104 cases in 2015 where an unarmed Black person was killed by police resulted in the officer or officers being charged with a crime. 13 out of 104. And of those, 4 cases where the officers were involved were actually convicted and sentenced. None was sentenced to serve more than 4 years in prison. That's our reality. And yeah, we can even go back as far as Emmett Till, lynchings, but our memory is awfully short because that is then 2015. What about last week? What about this month? And I'll share you a story later about this month. But this is, your question was uncomfortable. But the reality is that tomorrow, a mother, a father, a family will grieve a Black child being mistreated by, and 2015 was just the police killings. That didn't have anything to do with the white people who just killed indiscriminately.
Like what just
happened. So, what kind of question is this? It is a reality question. That's what I have to say.
I laugh because what we know, and I have to stay afloat as well. with Ahmaud Arbery situation. Last week I touched on it pretty heavy, I believe, and we all did. And as you're saying it now, it was a video that surfaced with Ahmaud. He had got stopped by the cops 2 years ago, previously, and he was in his car, just rapping in a park. He was in his car in a park, and he said it was his day off. The brother was in there just having him a ball, having him a good time in his car, singing his rap songs, easing his stress, blowing it away, whatever that means to him. That's what he was doing. Now the cops roll up. One rolls up, and they have exchanged words. Ahmaud is pulled out of the car, or asked to step out of the car. He's weapon free, doing nothing wrong from the video. This is according to the video. So I watched the video. You can look it up and find it as well, so you can make your own judgments of what I'm saying and find if there's any truth behind it. And then another cop rolls up, and they are going back and forth with words. And Ahmaud is really just saying, brothers, it's my day off. I'm tired. I done worked all week long. I'm ready to sit down and chill, man. This is my outlet. This is my 7th day of the week that I just need to blow my mind out. Let me get up in this car and put me some tracks down. You feel me? Let me do my thug thizzle right quick. That's all I want to do. Just leave me be. Just leave me be.
America.
Yeah, America. I ain't about nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's just let me do what I do, man. And the sadness of because the guy, the other cop, pulled out his taser. Prayerfully, the taser didn't work. And they made Ahmaud get on the ground on his knees. And he's sitting there, it's like, yo, this is unbelievable. I'm unarmed completely. I'm not bothering nobody. And the cop is like, look, man, I just want to make sure. Travis asked me, do I feel that way? Like I'm a target. Let me give you a story. And I've given this before, but I want Travis to really, I hope you're watching. And for the rest of you that have not heard the story before, and if you have it, then God forgive me, but I'm gonna tell you again anyway. I was in Maryland when I was in school, and I was in a park reading my college book, big old thick book, just thickums, just a real thick old book. And cop rolls over me. It's probably 8:30, 9ish o'clock at night. And I'm in a park. I'm from the South. We didn't close parks that time of night. You can go to the park any time of night, and God knows I didn't do no studying in no book. You know, thank God for deliverance. Amen. So it wasn't. It was a different scene at the park when I was back in my days. But you know, prayerfully at this one, I was really minding my business, not bothering nobody, really reading the book, smoking a Black and Mild. And the cop rolls up on me rather fast, and I'm just looking at him, and he gets out the car and he's amped up. And I'm like, you know, pretty much what is the problem? What's going on? License was never asked for. ID was never asked for. He just said, hey man, I need you to step out of the car. Heard, you know, I got a call, heard something was going on here at the park. And, you know, I'm one of them people, and I'm just looking around. And I'm like, what's going on? And did I miss something? I've been sitting here reading. I said, you see this thick old book. And you know I'm sitting here reading. I'm smoking a Black and Mild. There's no weed in it. It's a natural Black and Mild. And it was a cigar. And he, you know, so I have to get out the car. I'm minding my own business in a park. Now I didn't know they closed parks that early. I'm from the South in Maryland. Didn't know. The question that triggered me, that got me way off track. The guy asked, did I have a rocket launcher in my pocket? A rocket launcher in my pocket. So he said, man, I gotta pat you down. So I'm forced up against my hood, and I'm being patted down, completely patted down. He said, I gotta make sure you don't have a rocket launcher, man. You got anything like that on you? Any grenade launchers, rocket launchers? You got any weaponry, you know, like big weapons in the car? And I am sitting there, I'm like, this is amazing. And the only thing I could think when I seen Ahmaud's story is that I made it through that. Now, Travis said I had class, and I appreciate that. And then he said he would think the ones that were acting foolish should be targeted. Here's the thing. When a black man walks outside, he's already seen as foolish. He's already seen as dirty. He's already seen out the gate that he's something different that I'm not. They don't see the father of four. They don't see the man who's God-given organization that unifies. They don't see that. And it's to the point where they don't want to see it. They need to see why I am who I am. They need to see that, but they can't. They blinded. Why? Teresa said it best. Distractions keep getting thrown in. Now, Travis knows me. A lot of people know me. They know that, farewell, I'm all right. I have some ways. I'm not perfect by no means, but I like to think I'm a decent, good black man. And I like to think, Matt, that this conversation did open up. I like to read the response that somebody had for Matt as well. I thought that was beautiful as well. Hopefully I can find that one. But anyway, I'll look it up in just a minute. The niche of that, me being in a park, Ahmad being in a park. Now, Ahmad's age is the same age that I've coached. Now, the kids, I've been coaching over 20 years. So the kids that I coached back then is Ahmad's age now. So what, now they're coming to me, well, coach, you told me I could be anything I wanted to be. You told me I could stay athletic. You told me to stay focused in life and go view the world and go do what I'm supposed to do in the world. Now, I don't know Ahmad, but I know a lot of these young black men are doing just what Coach Fred said do. Now that they're 25 and 26, 27 years old, what is their train of thought now? Coach, what am I supposed to do? I can't even go outside and jog. And then, like you said, we take those hardship conversations and we just sweep them up under the rug. We're talking about them in the circle because it's all the same opinion. But we can't bring it out to the public. Oh, I might say what I really feel. I might, man, they might get the grunt of me. They might really, it's a question that's always asked, why do black people keep playing victim? It's kind of hard to play something that you are. And I know the other question is, how does it bring unity? You're starting to get understanding of what I go through. God didn't give me one blood just because I got a good heart and a forgiving heart. No, I caught some hell growing up. I've been through some hell since One Blood has started. I've had some comments thrown at me that I really want to convert back to the old Fred and give them a real taste of some good old North Carolina, open some cans. That's what I would love to do at times. But is that what God want me to do? No, that's not his projection. That's not his objective for me to do. It's not in the plan for me to carry out that kind of order, because those are my orders. It's not his. And I have to carry out his orders. And those orders have to take a lot of punches. I took one today. I took quite a few today. And the response is it's painful. You feel it, but you have to gain the understanding of where they are in their life. In hoping they would slowly understand where you're coming from in your life. And then one fella said, I've got to find it, Miss Eddie, the brother he hit it on the head. He did just like Teresa. Teresa hit it on the head. And this guy here really, really said something that was really key. And I want to find it because it was profound of what he said. And I can't remember his name.
Take your time because it's worth the wait.
Mm, I don't know where it's at. But anyway, let me tell you what the guy said. The guy said to Matt, he called out Matt and he said, hey, in other words, this question lines directly up with the word unity because, in other words, how would we ever have these conversations if we don't? He's a white male, I imagine, what I seen by the picture. And he said he's going to try his best to make sure that he puts the message out as well because he does see something is wrong with what's going on in this world. And I respect that to the most.
While you're looking for it,
Mhm.
let me just interject that I was so impressed with an article that I read where a young white male was running down the street with a television on his shoulder.
The preacher.
And he keep looking for the comment. And he was like, okay, I'm running down the street and I've got this television. Okay. Then he'd shift it to the other side, his other shoulder. I'm running down the street. I'm jogging with the television on my shoulder and nobody's going to bother me. And the point being, as you look for that comment, that we have allies. And I think that is the word that last week Mr. Bush was, and you were reaching for, that where are the people who are supposed to be on our side when something like this happens? And so that's what an ally looks like. Looks like you found it. Read it to me.
It says, I think the question has everything to do with unification. It will take people that look like you and me. He's a white female, he's a white male. He's talking to Matt. And he said, it would take people like you and me, that look like you and me, say being black man does make one a target. Wow. I would do my part to make sure that this is no longer a case, or at least do my part to try to change it. That is amazing. Two boys hugging each other and hate not being natural is spot on. You are black. You see people that look like you gunned down for basically being black. What do you propose is proper course of action? Bring unity. I'm trying to win criticism. I'm not trying to, I'm sorry. He said, I'm not trying to win criticism. I understand that this is Scott. I said it last word, his last name, Milvae, something like that. Milvae, Milvae. I think that's Milvae. Him and Teresa are eye-opener people to me. It's not that they agree. That's not the catch. That's not the niche at all. It's not that they agree or I agree with them. The niche and the catch is their understanding. That's the niche in the catch. They're understanding, hey, this, it's a problem with that particular ethnic group. And I want to help solve that problem. What more unification can we get out of that?
There you go.
That is unification.
That is.
I want to help you. I see you got a problem, brother. That's just like when I stop on the side of the road, or anybody, I see people, you stop, and doesn't matter what color, race, how old, whatever, what gender, and they have a flat tire, especially if it's women. Now, men, I hardly ever, I see a man stop on the road, he can handle his own. Depending on what's going on, if he needs a car push, I have him push off the road. But 90% of the time I see a woman, I'm going to stop. And if it's nobody else around her, I help her out and give her whatever, supply whatever she needs to get her day going. And that's the same concept that we're fighting for, that we're going towards, that we're trying to get out of all ethnicity groups, out of every ethnic group. It's a sad day that even in China, they started discriminating against Black folks because of a virus. So back, we wrote off, done. And I'm like, man, is it anywhere we can go? Is it anywhere that we can go where we, where people are just like, yo, come here. I got a lamb chop, I got some collard greens, I got some sweet potatoes. I got something back here for you. Is it anywhere? That's the feeling that we offer. That's what One Blood is trying to do. When One Blood feeds all the homeless and the needy during Thanksgiving, when One Blood does all the football camps, when One Blood gives food to the home to feed the first responders and all the actions that God allows me to do, that's what I'm saying. Hey, come here. Hey, come here. Let me give you a hug, man, because you might need it. In spite of, I don't care what you've been through your day. I don't care how your day started. I'm going to try my best to love you through it so you can end it with a happy thought. That's the message we have through our time and through our life. One brother, let me go to that one. One brother said, Miss Addie, this was beautiful. You want to talk while I find this one too?
I want to give the perspective on what a mother feels.
Please do.
And we know that fathers and their sons, there's a very special bond, but a mother and her child, we're protective. It is what we do. And when I came across a story last week or so, maybe a couple of weeks now, about a woman in New Hanover County, and I'll just go through it quickly. Damian Shepard, a New Hanover County teen, was playing video games late one evening when a group of men arrived at his door, demanding to know the whereabouts of a 15-year-old girl who had been reported missing. 3 in the group were armed, carrying a shotgun, a semi-automatic rifle, and a handgun. One was a New Hanover County sheriff deputy in uniform with a gun. They demanded to come into the house looking for Joshua. I'm like, my name is Damian. My name is Damian. I go to Laney High School. I graduated. My sign's on the yard. And in fact, there's a picture of a very large yellow sign that says Laney High School, Damien! Large letters. Well, the noise woke his mother up, Monica Shepherd. She came into the living room and told Damien to go back to the back of the house. Her words, the crowd was angry, and I still did not know what was going on. The sheriff kept saying, I'm going to step inside, close the door, and talk to you. He put his foot inside the door so that I could not close it. And I said, no, you're not. She told the vigilantes that her son was named Damien, not Joshua. But she held her ground, and eventually the mob left. Her words, the whole time I was worried the worst would happen. I'm still in shock. I don't sleep well. Monica Shepherd said, coming to the door like that with a mob of people with guns, what do we expect? What was their intentions? What if he had been the person they were looking for? Or what if I was not home? What would have happened? I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want him to be a statistic. It's scary. I was vulnerable. They had the crowd, they had the weapons. I had nothing. I was standing before a crowd, but I had the faith.
Amen to that.
I didn't fear anything for myself. And I think maybe that was displayed in my eyes because I told them, I don't care. You're not coming into my house, period. This is how a mother feels who has a young Black male. This happened this month, 2020. So we don't owe anybody any apology if we comment that, yeah, we feel like there is a target on the back of Black men. You may not be holding the gun, but somebody else might.
Oh Lord. Miss Addie. Let me, amen, amen. Let me check the comment first, Miss Addie, before I close it out. You done hit somebody in the head with that one. My brother always say his comments, but I'll never see him. Hey, what up, D? I hope you out there. All right, Miss Addie, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Let me close it with this one right here. This is key. I want to answer. Let me read this young man here. He said, in a lot of circumstances and communities, it does. The Black man is at war with several groups: white supremacy, the justice system, and ourselves. I like that. He was very, very understanding of what he's going through and putting it to the realm of what I think anyway. That's just my opinion. We are critical. We are at a critical point in time. What must decide we must decide which direction we want to go. That was Julius Baggett. Going back off what the other man said as well, I want to answer Julius and the other guy that I thought was really profound. and what these young men was actually saying and how they really feel. How can we get through this? What do we do? Boom. Let me give you a suggestion. And it's an opinion, but I think it will work because in life, in this previously, like Miss Addie said, in 2020, it's amazing that this type of frustration still sits in homes of mothers and fathers. Now, last week's show emphasized really, really hard. If you are a father, period, just in the natural, the Bible says Abraham is a father of many nations. So that means to me, just by having one child in this realm, you are a father to all. You are a mother to all. And if you are a father and you seen this 25-year-old young man get gunned down, I don't care what he did in his past. All I wanted to see what his future would have became. Being drugged down and brutally murdered for what price? What was the purpose of his price? What did he pay? Because see, my understanding, Christ paid it all. So what price did he pay for them to gun him down? What was the price? Because if you're a father, that's the question you got to be asking yourself. What are the prices for these young men that are losing their lives? What's the price? What are they paying for? What is the price of this mother losing sleep at night? Thinking somebody might knock on the door again. This time they might just bust it open like they did the first responder, shot her 8 times and a boyfriend in the leg. They just bust up in that bad boy. The warrant was false. False information, wrong house.
Wrong house, wrong people. She's still dead.
Can't wake her up. We can't. And that's a victim that was not played. That's a
That
victim.
was back in March, wasn't it?
Back in March.
And we wouldn't have even known about that one. The one that happens tomorrow, we won't even know about.
Not till somebody socially it.
Because it is so normalized, it doesn't make the paper.
They say Corona is making a new norm. My brother, I'm answering the one that answered Matthew. I can't remember your name. You asked the question though. You said, how do we, how can we? We have already tried being justified. We've already tried forgiveness. We've already tried the walk of humanity and harmonizing together. I beg us to try this version here, is understanding. God asks us, and he tells us in the Bible very clearly, and all that get understanding. You have to get to a point in your life where you completely look in the mirror and ask yourself, what if Ahmaud was white and the 2-3 gentlemen that had something to do with it were all black? The same house that Ahmaud went in, there's another video, 4 white people went in that same house. There was no disturbance of that. They didn't care, didn't say nothing about it. Those kids or whoever they were was never disturbed. This young man was hunted down. My son tells me, Daddy, what am I supposed to do? I have 2 of them. And they're really great kids, not just because they're mine, but they genuinely are really good kids. My daughters are great kids. They really are genuinely just some good kids. And they have to ask me. They do. This is coming from them, not from me. They have to ask me, Dad, I mean, can I, is it not appropriate for me to run down the street? Can I not go jogging to stay in shape? That's what my sons are asking. So at what point do you want to push it? And to my brother that said, to Julius. I got yours up. That's why I remember your name. He said we have to decide to make a decision. Last week I did say that we have to, as brothers, as black men, we do have to make a decision not to retaliate in the way that we want to, our flesh wants to, but to retaliate the way God did on Jesus did on the cross. He said, forgive them for they know not what they do. And then he shared an abundance of love. With that love came with a true understanding of who he was. These type of conversations will bring understanding if you keep pushing them out. You got to have them. Without these type of conversations, you would just keep, like Miss Addie said earlier, you just keep sweeping them up under your rug. And the only time you'll bring them out is when you're in your group and you'll get fired up because someone asked it that you thought should not be having that conversation. In other words, the victim asked it. The victim is the one asked the question. So does it bring unity? Yes, because there are some black and white conversations that did not have, that would never happen today, that happened. There was some clarity between some blacks and some whites today. Whether you the one particularly did get it or not, somebody did. That's the angle for it. That's the beauty of it. It's a domino effect. If I get one, if I can push one over, prayerfully that domino will affect the next one. Prayerfully that one might affect 10 or 15, 20 more. Until we get the message out. Unity is a need. It is not something that you push. It's something that is a need. We got to put it together. Brothers, we got to stick together first. And we need our white brothers, like the young man said, hey, let me understand, help me understand what I need to do to push the message of unity. We needed Teresa's, the mom. She's a mom too as well. We need them Teresa's, the white Teresa's, to say, hey, I don't get it all, but I do love you. And I understand some of what you're going through. And I'm going to try to understand more so we can work something out to get rid of this hate. This sister hit it with scriptures. Now, you know, that's us. That's where we're going. But even if you don't know scripture, and even if you don't want to know scripture, that's fine. That's your choice. I'm not going to knock you for that. But the niche is get understanding of it. Just get some understanding. That's all we're asking. It's the elephant in the room, baby. You got to talk about it. You got to put it out there. And then when we get back over this COVID, we'll do more events. I promise you, the challenge that God has placed in my heart that is coming up next. Miss Addie, you got to be with me because this one is going to be this one's a rock hard one that actually when he gave it to me, I actually cried because I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Lord. This is going to be a mind blower. It's going to be a tear jerker. It's going to be some in-depth. It's going to challenge your spirit, like this question did. It's going to bring some reality, like Miss Addie Truth says. It's going to bring some reality if you allow it. If you don't allow the understanding to take place, we won't win. But if you sit back and swallow your pride and just say, hey, you know what? I really don't understand what you're going through. And I am sorry. You ain't got to be sorry. I don't need no apology. No black folk need that. We're over that. That didn't work because no one held it accountable. So apologies don't work. You got to be held accountable for the actions. Each individual does an individual job. That's what will make a team.
That's right.
Miss Addie, you got anything else?
No, you have covered it, and take us on out.
Take us on out. God be with each and every one of you, man. I pray for you all to be blessed with an abundance of love to share. Share your opinion, share it respectfully. My platform has never been built. God didn't give me this platform to tear down and to be torn down or to tear anyone else down, demoralize anyone, or to bring them out of character. That is not the objective. That is not the situation at all. This is a build up of understanding and true love. Now, if I don't get it, I get it from Miss Addie. Miss Addie don't get it, she might get it from me. If we don't get it, we get it from God. So I'm not begging on this one. I'm actually telling you on this one. This is One Blood show. We don't do that here. It's not built for that. And I love everybody. I truly do. But it's not built to tear down anyone and keep Trump out of my conversations that I did not invite him in. When I invite him in, then we can talk about it. But he didn't have nothing to do with this. This is between this conversation right here, One Blood speaking out, trying to gain understanding and push understanding and love to the nation. That's the key, baby. Y'all be blessed, be safe. You know One Blood loves you. We'll talk to you soon.